Hey all, and welcome to Geek Freaks. I am Frank, and I'm with Taguro,
Hola.
Daniel. I said Taguro, I meant Daniel. Using your nickname. Okay, so today we're going to be covering. We have a bunch of geek-related topics as usual. We're also going to be doing a top 5 World of Warcraft Dungeons because we're both getting back into it. Actually, sounds like pretty much the whole podcast is getting into it again. I'm going to be streaming myself leveling a brand new character. This is like a really good game to like kind of burn up all this time while we're staying at home, right?
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. Before we get too far, I wanted to pull one out of the Geek box. All right, so you down to do a Geek box?
I'm down.
Here we go.
What is a geek box though?
You haven't been part of the Geek box yet? Oh, this is your first Geek box question.
Yeah.
So I have the box of Geek box topics or questions. This is going to be your first one. Here it is. If you had the power of invisibility, what would you use it for? I'll go first while you think. I would rob banks so fast, it's not even a joke. I would be straight up Robin Hood. Yes, I'd be stealing from banks, and I would think I would be good enough to at least donate a portion to charity. But there's no doubt I am robbing some banks. What about you?
That's pretty good. Let's see. I wouldn't be able to rob a bank because I'd be too nervous and get caught. So
you're invisible though.
I know, but I would probably use it as a way to get into events like BlizzCon, E3.
What a good idea! Yeah, that's a good idea.
Get to fly places. Just go in the.
You're just
plane.
Like standing on the plane, not like trying to sit in any chair.
just chilling over there.
Avoiding the drink cart.
I'll definitely use it for that, like concerts, stuff like that. I would just abuse it in that way.
Okay. Neither of us said we're going to be good guys.
I mean, I'm doing pretty good though.
I'm straight up robbing banks. All right, awesome. Let's go ahead and get into the news. First up, YouTube changed their default video settings to standard definition for a month. This is in lieu of the fact that like just internet usage is at an all-time high right now. This was first done in Europe, but will be going forward worldwide. And this is a statement from Google. They told Bloomberg News. We continue to work closely with governments and network operators around the globe to do our part to minimize the stress on the system during this unprecedented situation. So you will be able to still watch high definition videos, but you have to actually change the setting by hand. There's a little gear in the corner of your video box. You could change it. For mobile devices, you really won't notice too much of a difference because a lot of mobile devices kind of stream at a kind of a low 720p area. So you'll be okay there. For you, do you watch a lot of YouTube every day?
Every day. That's like my main source of like news and everything.
I would have to say, yeah. I do listen to a lot of podcasts, but I noticed that staying at home, I'm actually watching more YouTube than podcasting. What YouTube channel would you suggest to people who are stuck at home and need something fun to watch?
There's actually a lot. So I watch a lot of Shannon and Sharp, Undisputed.
That's a good channel.
Yeah, it's like it's one-on-one, and they discuss about like football, basketball, baseball, and they talk about, if you're like a football fan, they pretty much talk about trades, things that are happening in the league.
One thing I like about those two as well is they're just entertaining to watch. They could be talking about a sport I don't care about, like baseball, for example, and I'll still listen to it just because those two are really entertaining themselves,
Yeah, definitely. And then Shannon and Sharp, right? Yeah.
Yeah, Shannon. Shannon Sharp and Skip Bayless.
Yeah, Skip Bayless. They're always like bickering about the Cowboys and stuff like that. So it's always hilarious.
As a Cowboys fan, actually during the stream I currently have my Cowboys hat on. I love that part the most because Skip is a diehard Cowboys fan.
Yeah. And
so it's really nice how much he is a classic Cowboys fan, and the fact that they're always great, and we can complain but nobody else can. So Skip is a true Cowboys fan.
Also, another one I watch is Millennial Farmers. I'm a big farmer guy.
Wow. What is that?
It's pretty much a farm in Minnesota, and they plant soybeans and other stuff, and pretty much he has his own YouTube channel, and he just like shows what he does pretty much of the week.
That is
of him
really
planting, driving tractors, doing all this stuff. I like it.
Okay, what about so is it basically those are your two main suggestions for everybody else? Is there anything else?
Let's see. I got a lot of mixed stuff. Like, well, I got another one, Welker Farms. That's another
It's a
place
farm one as well.
yeah, it's another farm one. Or Alana Pierce. She used to work at IGN. She posts a lot of content about video games and stuff. Talks about news. And, so,
damn, I didn't think you were so much into the farming YouTube channels. That's pretty cool.
Oh yeah, I love farming. I grew up on farms and dairies. So
right, yeah. For myself, I would suggest Good Mythical Morning. That's one of my go-to. Every morning I watch that. It's a kind of a talk show. It's a morning show basically, where these two guys will do random things. Over the years, they've kind of leaned into the food stuff just because that's been their big seller. You know, that's kind of what's gotten them the most views. So one of my favorite things they do is where they'll eat a dish from a random country, like say they'll do hot sauce. They've done hot sauces. They'll do a hot sauce. They won't know what country it's from, and then they'll throw darts at a map to try to get close as possible. One of them, Link, always loses, so he has a big advantage where they always call it the fart, where he throws 4 darts and he's hit the guy that's like helping them one time. It's a really good show. They just finished up their March Madness to figure out the best ice cream in the world, and there was a surprise winner, so that was pretty cool. But yeah, it's a really good show. So that's a good one that has a huge back catalog. I think they just celebrated 1,600 episodes, so you can watch a ton of their stuff. And that's 1,600 episodes of the main show. They always do an after show as well called Good Mythical More that has basically another 1,600 episodes almost. So you guys could really just like totally be binging that all. That's really good. I suggest that. Other YouTube channels, I really like John Oliver's Last Week Tonight. I always watch the YouTube version of that. Kutsugar, I think it's called. It's a science one it's like science cartoons that teaches you huge scientific theories and stuff like that. That are really neat. My favorite is the Dyson engine, which is how we could use the sun to like power spaceships and stuff. Anyways, it's really cool. You guys should check that out as well. But those are my suggestions for you. But yeah, that's so YouTube is going standard definition, and while you guys are at home, check out some cool YouTube channels.
I have a question for you. Do you find it annoying to have to keep switching it back to better quality, like 1080?
No, I just keep mine on standard definition because
really?
For me, I noticed the difference, but I don't think it's so much so that I would have to, like, it would bug me to not switch it. If there was something I was watching for its visual, like, I got mostly when I'm watching stuff, it's for the audio. You know what I'm saying? Like, especially when it's like John Oliver or something like that, when it's educational stuff, I'm watching it mostly for the audio. Are you constantly switching it over to high def?
Yeah, every time, because it bugs me. Like, I'll just be watching it. I'm like, oh my God, I need to switch it back.
That's crazy. Next up, we have 2 more conventions that have been postponed. The first one is the American Black Film Festival, ABFF, has been pushed back from June to October 21st. This will be to 25th, down in Miami. The American Black Film Festival is an annual event dedicated to the recognizing Black talent and showcasing quality film and television content by and about people of African descent. So that was their website statement. So yeah, they're going to be moving back to October. It feels like most of these conventions that are going for the postpone instead of cancel move are all going to be October. So October is going to be awesome. We're going to have a ton of conventions to attend. I'm really excited for that. Hoping that we're all healthy by then. The next one is Computex 2020. This one is being moved from June to September 28th to the 30th and being reduced from 5 days down to 3. So this one is an interesting event because it's focused on the hardware manufacturers in the tech field. So and this year they're working mostly on 5G and gaming. So if you think of the hardware, so like think of like your hard drives, your RAM and stuff like that. So I really like when Computex is around, you kind of get the cutting edge of what I'm going to be buying next for my computer. It's pretty epic. So that's going to be coming late September. Yes, I want DDR5 to become mainstream. You know. That or quantum computing, one of those two. So that'll be pretty awesome. Okay, now the convention that we're always concerned about is BlizzCon 2020. Saying you don't have the power and visibility, do you think that BlizzCon is still going to happen?
I don't think it will happen.
Dude, you
kind of sad about it. I know, like I'm pretty disappointed about it, but with what's going on right now and how bad it's gotten. Like we're number 1 in cases right now.
Right.
I don't see BlizzCon doing it, or actually I believe that they might push it back, but I don't know.
What scares me is, I think, okay, so usually ticket sales happen in May for BlizzCon. They happen in May and June, and then maybe the last year they'll do in July. And then BlizzCon is always the first week of November, sometimes the very, very, very last week of October. Which that part is fine. What I'm concerned about is it also happens to be a year where they're only going to be like showing more details on Overwatch and Diablo 4 and stuff like that. So there's not like a new game that's expected. Maybe a StarCraft, new StarCraft 3 or whatever.
I was thinking.
But that could be pushed back to next year pretty easily. So it's kind of one of those years where it's kind of a good year to skip BlizzCon. They actually they've done this before where they decided to not do a BlizzCon when they didn't have really anything to announce. So you think that they might postpone this thing? When do you think we'll find out whether or not they postpone it? Do you think they'll tell us early, or do they think they'll just be like, look, mid-June, okay, guys, there are not going to be any tickets? Or do you think they'll tell us like in the next week or two?
I think they'll tell us by the next like 2 months.
Okay, so yeah,
I think they'll let us know, especially when tickets usually get start being sold out, or they start selling the tickets. I think they'll let us know by that time. But I really don't see them doing it, especially with all the people that go from different countries. I don't see that they're gonna do it.
Yeah. Well, hopefully it'll happen. I'm always excited for BlizzCon. So,
I mean, eSports too would be pretty much closed down, especially like for the international Overwatch. They wouldn't be able to show that. Yeah,
the World Cup for Overwatch is there. So is like the championship for WoW Dungeons and Arenas for StarCraft and all those. Hearthstone's championship is there. So you have a lot of championship events that would have to be reconfigured to fit this new thing, which they can do. They have an arena still. It's standing by.
Yeah.
It would just be weird to kind of like schedule that all out. We'd have to see. BlizzCon is so close to all of us, but they might have to do that. We'll have to see how that goes. All right, moving on to Nintendo Direct Mini. This was a smaller Nintendo Direct. Now, I want to get this out of the way. Daniel, you do not own a Switch, correct?
That is correct.
All right, we're going to try to sell you with some of these games that we're pitching here, okay? So these are brand new games on the horizon. First off, Xenoblade Chronicles, the definitive edition. Have you played any Xenoblade before?
No.
Okay.
I've not.
This has kind of been one of those games that I've always been interested in. It's kind of got this like big swords, awesome moves. The definitive edition is a classic brought back with smoother graphics. They redid all the audio. They actually completely remade the audio. It'll have a different epilogue at the end, so you could actually play even more of the game than you ever had before. So it's supposed to be like the time to get into Xenoblade. So I might pick this up just because I always hear good things about it. Next up, 2K's BioShock The Collection, Borderlands Legendary Collection, and XCOM 2 Collection are all coming to the Switch. This is huge. I already know I'm getting the BioShock one. I might get the Borderlands one. Would you pick up any of those?
I'd pick up the BioShock one because those games were amazing. Might get the Borderlands and XCOM. I always want to try that out. So if it was on sale too, if it's cheap, I might pick that up too.
Yeah, XCOM. I've played it a few times because it's always part of that Steam summer sale, and it's not bad. It's not bad. BioShock to me though is just like it's such a perfect game. All three of them are great, especially 1 and 3. I'm totally buying that. There's no doubt. We have a new trailer for Marvel Ultimate Alliance, basically showing off the new Fantastic Four DLC, and they're going to be fighting Doom, and it looks like the Celestials in this, so that's pretty amazing. I think Doctor Doom should be totally touted more often. He's not used enough in the Marvel universe right now, so pretty excited for that. We have a new update coming to Animal Crossing New Horizon. This is going to be for Bunny Day. This is, basically their Easter celebration. Zipper.
I'm so excited.
I know you are. You just got to stay in your seat. I know you're wanting to hop up and down. Zipper the bunny will hide eggs throughout your island. You can find these eggs to create decorations for your island. You're obviously not an Animal Crossing player. That's correct?
No. Yeah, that's correct. I was like, why do people play this game?
I'm posting on Discord like, hey man, I was telling basically Derek and Tabby, guys, I got it, and you were like, but why? I was like, don't talk to me, I'm fishing. Now we have a free update to Ring Fit Adventures. This is the kind of fitness game for the Nintendo Switch. Adds new soundtracks and language options. I actually might pick this up. I've seen some people that are like, dude, I'm actually losing a lot of weight with Ring Fit. And that's cool and all, but some of the games actually look like a lot of fun. Kind of reminds me of like a different version of a like Rock Band or Guitar Hero. Have you seen the Ring Fit before?
No, I actually haven't.
You actually mount the controller to this ring, and then like as you squeeze it, it has tension, so it's building up muscle, and it's registering everything because you're moving the controller that's mounted to it. But I think I'm picking that up actually. We have a big one here. We have the next fighter joining Smash Brothers. They'll be from ARMS. They have not said exactly which member of ARMS this will be. We do know that because of the mechanics of a stretching arm, the extending arm, that they'll need more time for development. So it's expected in June, but they might have to push that back, especially with all this coronavirus stuff too. We're not entirely sure how that's going to go. But yeah, so that's a huge change to the mechanics of the game. I think that's actually going to be a meta breaker. We'll have to see how that goes. They are also offering to kind of give everybody familiar with the ARMS characters. They're offering a free game trial for ARMS for Nintendo Online members, which is super cheap to be a member. The full game will be available till April 6th. I'm going to try to put this episode out a little bit early. I always do that, mess up. But I'm going to try to put it out a little bit early so you guys could enjoy a little more time on that. We also have another game I'm going to be buying called Clubhouse Games. It's going to have 51 games in one. It's coming out on June 5th. This is the kind of game, man, that like, when your grandma buys you a game, she's like, oh, I know that Daniel loves his Xbox. So she goes and buys you this game.
Yeah.
And it's got like pool and chess and stuff like that. But these are really nice to have around the house. It's always nice to have one of these around the house. So if you got the kids over or you got some friends over and you're like, man, I'm bored. Do you want to play some checkers? Sure, let's play it on the Switch. That's what this is. And it's got a ton of different games from around the world. Yeah. It's got poker and stuff. And pool is one of them and stuff like that. I always play pool on games. So that'd be pretty cool.
I wonder if there's the Portuguese Sueca.
They don't have, I don't think they have that, but they do have some unique card games. So maybe it would be there. But I didn't notice Sueca mentioned, but they do have some unique ones. Maybe. That'd be pretty cool. Next up, this is one everybody's been going nuts for. Star Wars Jedi Knight Jedi Academy is on the Switch today. So you guys can play that right now if you want to. That's a pretty big game. And you actually are going through the Jedi's training and stuff like that to become your own Jedi and change the story yourself. So that's pretty epic right there. Minecraft Dungeons will be coming spring 2020. This is a must purchase for myself. Minecraft Dungeons has always been very interesting to me. I think it's actually going to be one we all play together and stream. We're big Minecraft fans around here. So and I'm a dungeon crawler fan as well, so it's perfect. Last up for the Nintendo Direct Mini, we have the Isle of Armor expansion for Pokemon Sword and Shield. We got some more details revealed. So you're going to train at a dojo for your Pokemon. So it's a Pokemon dojo. You receive a legendary Pokemon called Cubfu, and he is adorable. You challenge these two towers with your new Cubfu, and they're called the Towers of Two Fists. And you can only use Cubfu during this. Cubfu will evolve differently depending on which tower you choose. So he'll either gain Darkness style or Rapid style. Okay. Mm-hmm. Your starter Pokemon are also getting new Gigantamax forms with even stronger abilities, and they look amazing. They've totally done new effects on these new abilities. They look really cool. We also have new player customizations coming out with outfits, hairstyles, and league card modifications. So, Daniel, with all this, what's it going to take for you to buy a Switch?
I might need that Switch to be down to like $150 for a new one.
Yikes. That's rough.
Yeah.
I don't see that happening anytime soon.
Yeah, I know. But I do want to get a Switch, but right now I got some stuff I want to buy before I do.
Yeah.
But I definitely want to get one.
Of any of these games, what's the most enticing to you? Smash Brothers doesn't count, though, because that's just a new champ. I can't use Smash Brothers.
Honestly, Pokemon I'm more excited about.
Pokemon was very good. Yeah.
Yeah. Especially playing Temtem, like it's been making me want to play Pokemon.
Temtem is so hard. It's so hard to explain to people like, yeah, it's Pokemon and all, but there's strategy involved. Like with Pokemon, you can just power your way through it. You don't need strategy. You do need it in Temtem. It's crazy. There's definitely some Best Buys for me. BioShock, I think, is the one I'm most excited for. Just playing those games again.
BioShock's good. The problem is rebuying games that I do like. it's hard because I own those games still for the other systems, and I could just play them on those other systems. So I don't think I would actually buy those, like BioShock or, um, yeah, it's tough. The only game really Pokemon.
Yeah,
out of that list.
That's the for sure one. All right, moving on to our next thing here, we have ESL and PUBG Mobile coming together to create a new esports tournament. ESL is the esports company. They kind of already work with like CSG, so Counter-Strike Go, with Dota 2, some of the big guys,
Yeah.
You're pretty familiar with ESL, right?
Yes.
And so they're going to be establishing this new tournament with PUBG Mobile. So it's the mobile version, the one that's partially owned by Tencent Games, and the other half is by PUBG Corp, of course. This event will have a prize pool of $5 million. They said now, the press release that I received said $1 million, but then they tweeted out $5 million. So I think it's actually going to be $5 million. They'll be hosting a series of competitions leading up to the 2020 World Championship. And so, yeah, this is kind of putting PUBG on the PUBG Mobile on the big stage, right? This is some of the biggest guys that these guys are in charge of. Do you think, first off, have you ever tried PUBG Mobile?
I did when it first came out.
You did? Okay. Yeah, I think I did too. And I kind of it was like too easy to win compared to like, the regular PUBG. So I didn't really like it. Now, do you think PUBG Mobile would make a good esport?
No, it wouldn't. They already have PUBG as an esports, and on the first year, because I used to play PUBG, so playing it and then watching it, the first year it was big. You had like 200,000 views on Twitch. After the second year, then third year, it went down to like 10,000 views. I definitely think on the first year, like when PUBG mobile comes out for esports or whatever, it would probably be big for the very first year. Then the next year and third year, it's gonna be the same thing. You're gonna lose views. Game has issues. Bluehole isn't fixing the issues and the cheaters. I'm not sure if there's cheaters on the mobile game, but it probably does. Probably does, especially it being fucking Bluehole.
Yeah, and Tencent, I also don't quite trust with the cheaters either. So you kind of have Tencent, who's they own a little bit of every video game company, but they don't have an excellent track record. So I don't really quite trust them either to compete against cheating. But yeah, and you're saying in general, PUBG is usually not a very good esport. Is that what you're saying?
It could be a good esport if it didn't have so many issues. Mm-hmm. But then, and it's hard to have an esport as of it's RNG.
Yeah.
Because of the blue zone, you don't know where the blue zone's gonna land.
That's a good point. It's
gonna change on you. So it's RNG. So if you're already in the circle, you have a better shot. If you're not in the circle and you have to go in, it's gonna make it harder to get in, and then you're just gonna lose. So it's kind of it can be a esports. I mean they did it, but it's not a really good esport.
Yeah, it's so Fortnite, you say, is also not a very good esport then.
Yeah, that's correct. It's not really a good esport. Okay. Like CS:GO, that's a good esport.
Yeah, it's fantastic actually.
Yeah. League of Legends, stuff like that. That's fine. Yeah. It's not RNG.
Yeah, that's true. That is very true. Yeah, we'll have to see how it goes. I enjoy Fortnite's esports just because they're so much faster than I am with like building and shooting, so there's a lot of excitement there. But PUBG doesn't have that part. It's just shooting, and so I think the RNG is more important. Yeah, we'll have to see how that goes. That's a good point. I didn't really think about the RNG involved and how that much that'll affect competitive play. It's a good one. So next up, we have hackers hold up an AMD GPU source code for ransom for $100 million. This is insane story that I was like, we have got to talk about this. I have so many sources for this one. So AMD revealed that a hacker has stolen files that contain the source code for the AMD Navi 10, Navi 21, and Ardent GPU, sorry. Now the Ardent GPU, these are all kind of like future graphics cards, right? GPUs, graphics cards, basically.
Yeah.
The Ardent is rumored to be the 12 teraflop powerhouse GPU that's going to be used for the Xbox Series X. So we see them toting about this huge, graphics card, or this, major power they have. Apparently it's this Ardent, and now the code, the source code, which is basically a list of commands that's used to make a program. So with this list of commands, you can essentially recreate a lot of this programming behind these big graphics cards. That's out there now. Okay. The hacker who calls herself, it's soulless with 3X on each side, because of course they have to make it super hard to say, demands $100 million for the files and threatens to release the files if not paid. She's saying that, she expects $100 million from AMD, but will take it from anybody. So say if Xbox wants to jump in, they'll do it. They released portions on GitHub, and AMD quickly responded with a copyright claim to get them removed. So that right there tells you that AMD knows that these are real. So otherwise, you'd be like, oh, those are fake, yada, 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 nobody cares. No, when they actually put the copyright in there, yeah, so like, oh shit, you probably shouldn't have done that. There's that problem there. Now, there's so many sources going on about this, but Torrent Freak was one of them that was actually able to contact the hacker. That's how we know that it's that they're claiming to be a female. The hacker has not been. They said that they have not been contacted by AMD, but assume that they'll be trying to sue them in court. But the fact that Torrent Freak can reach out to them shows that her identity is not as hidden as she is originally planned. So people can reach out to her, basically saying that AMD will have somebody to put on those court filings. So I'm asking you, what kind of punishment do you think this hacker should receive for doing this?
I mean, at least a couple years in jail, because that's pretty
prison,
big.
Wow. Yeah. It's one of those things where when you delve deep into what what Solus is trying to say is like, this is teaching them their mistake and stuff. Like she keeps using that terminology of AMD won't fess up to their mistake and pay the money. They're going to try to go after me legally. Well, it's like, is it their mistake? Like you're a hacker. The fact that you are breaching someone's property is a crime. If we lived in a perfect world, you wouldn't be doing that.
Like hackers could be good too. That's the thing.
Yep.
So it's tough. I mean, if you're gonna do harm, just mess companies up, and there should be punishment. And there should be a way. That's tough.
The crime almost should be in the asking for ransom, not necessarily in the hack itself. But then if she decided to release them all for free, would she be in trouble? What do you think?
Yeah, I mean that's still private property that you're invading. You're going into the company and stealing their information. So I mean, she should still get in trouble.
So do you think there should be a tier of penalty? So like say there's one tier for just hacking them, one tier for distributing private property, and then another tier for trying to solicit money for your private property that you've stolen? Like each one should be more time in prison?
Yeah, I could see that.
Okay. Now, do you think AMD or another company should pay for this ransom or just bite the bullet, let the source code be released? What do you think?
That's tough.
How important is it to AMD? I'm watching this one closely. It's so crazy. I hear about this all the time, but the fact that one of these graphics cards is what's in the brand new Xbox, and Xbox has been freaking boasting about it so much that it has me so interested in this topic. I don't want ransoms to be paid, but you might need to.
Well, if they know who it is, why doesn't the FBI just go after them?
That's what AMD is first attempting to do. So they if that goes through, that's fine. Say they cannot catch her, and so she's on the loose. She has the ability to release this. Do you think they should still pay for that ransom or no?
Yeah, Microsoft still want to pay for it.
You think Microsoft might step in? I think so too, man, because Microsoft is such a heated competition with PlayStation that they can't afford stuff like this to get out. You know what I'm saying? I think that this will be one of those things where they're like, no, we will pay that ransom just so that the Xbox details don't get out too much. You know what I'm saying? And then if that source code is out there, Intel can grab it. They can do what they want with it. You're opening up all kinds of... Sony can grab it. They could start making their PlayStation PS5 Plus right now with at least 12 teraflops if they wanted to. So it's really interesting we'll see how this goes. We'll follow back up on this, guys, with how the lawsuit went and let you guys know. It's definitely something interesting. Let us know on Twitter, Instagram, everything else, our Discord, what you guys think about this and which way you think it should go. The sources for this are Torrent Freak, of course, AMD's press release, because they had to fess up to it. We have that full press release on our website, by the way. IGN and Den of Geeks. So you guys can check out all those sources and our website. Next up, this one is very personal to me. So this is a call of action to all of you guys, okay? Marvel and DC Comics will stop shipping new comics starting April 1st. So Diamond Comic Distributors